Donny and Marie Osmond smiled on stage for decades, but things were going badly between them behind the scenes. It had been 11 years since their Las Vegas show, and by 2019 they couldn't even kiss. The meet and greets were different. Promotional items were shot one at a time. What no one saw: the case that made everything public. There were accusations of greed, manipulation, and treason that tore them apart. The most popular brother and sister in America. People in America's best family lost touch with each other. He was born in Ogden, Utah, on October 13, 1959. She was the only girl in a house full of boys and the eighth of 9 children. Marie's early years were different, though. While the boys trained and played, she stayed with her mother at home. There was music playing in the background all the time. Marie once said that she couldn't remember a single day as a child when she didn't hear or practice music. The music filled the room, even though she wasn't acting yet. She and Donny were very close. They were always playing and laughing with each other, and their crazy energy would sometimes drive their mother crazy. But the Osmond story started with a sad turn. Viral and Tom, the first 2 children, had very bad hearing when they were born. Doctors George and Olive Osmond told them not to have any more children. They even told them to put the boys in a home for boys, but Olive refused. Her faith made her trust something stronger than doctors. She taught her sons at home and decided to have more children. Because of that choice, 7 more children were born, and all of them can hear normally. In a strange way, Viral and Tom's hearing problems were what pushed the family into show business. In 1958, the boys began to act, to get more money for hearing aids. What started as a need quickly turned into something much bigger. George, their dad, ran the house like a drill master. He was disciplined while in the U.S. Army and brought that home with him. A horn played Réveil in the morning. Sound-offs in the style of the military were used to announce meals. You got a spanking if you were rude, but George was tough because he loved his kids. Donny remembered how funny those early years were. Even though there were rules, George expected them to be perfect in everything they did, not just how they behaved. Not a single move or note could be wrong. At first, the family business did only a few church shows. Alan began when he was only 8 years old. Jay was only 2 years old. In the late 1950s, a lucky meeting at Disneyland changed everything. People saw the boys singing on Main Street, and soon they were being asked to be on national TV. They went on the Andy Williams Show, and Donny sang "You Are My Sunshine" for the first time. He was only 5 years old. Their fame grew quickly, but it cost them something. Practices took the place of school. I spent all of my life on tours, but they worked. They did very well financially. Marie took a chance when she was 13. She made a demo of "Coat of Many Colors" by Dolly Parton. MGM Records liked what they heard and signed her right away. Took a plane to Nashville and recorded 9 songs in her first session there. Everyone was amazed at how focused and ready she was. This was her first show as a solo artist. Paper Roses came out in 1973 when she was only 14 years old. It became a hit right away. It went to #1 on the country chart in the U.S., #5 on the pop chart, and #2 in the UK. She was the youngest country music singer ever in the United States to start at #1. After that, her record went straight to the top of the country charts, showing that she wasn't just a one-hit wonder. After that, they had more hits with "Who's Sorry Now" and "In My Little Corner of the World." After that came the duet age. They worked together on the hit song "I'm Leaving It All Up to You," and they kept making music together. They stayed on top of the charts with hits like "Morning Side of the Mountain" and "Deep Purple." Also, something clicked for Donny when he made "One Bad Apple" when he was 12 years old. He stopped singing like a machine and began to think like an artist. This was the first time he wasn't just reading words again and again. He could feel them. That small change would make him an artist instead of a cute kid on stage. That's when things really went crazy. By the early 1970s, Donny was more than just well-known. He was a huge teen star. The UK was one of the places where Osmond mania really took off. Girls yelled his name, ran after his car, crowded hotels, and packed every place he went. It got so crazy that Donny had to hide under a restaurant table to get away from a crowd of fans. The Osmonds had 13 songs that made it to the top of the charts in the UK in 1973 alone. People were going crazy, not hyped up. His shows were so loud that screams drowned out the music. Even when he played in Nashville, the fans were so loud that it seemed like the sound could break through the walls. Also, teen magazines couldn't get enough of him. His face was on 16 and Tiger Beat. The girls loved him, but their boys didn't like him. Most people never saw how that mix of love and hate changed Donny's life. While his fans screamed with love, the skeptics got their knives ready. Donny got one of the worst reviews in music history when he was only 15. Rolling Stone magazine called the day he was born the worst day in rock history. He thought about it all the time. He was just a kid who wasn't sure who he was yet. The biggest music magazine in the world then said that he was a mistake just for being alive. It broke his heart. In the end, he said it was the worst kind of bullying. It kept going. His name became a joke in the music business in the 1980s. No one wanted to be linked to Def Leppard guitarist Phil Collins, who played on Donny's record. His name had to be taken out of the credits. He was ripped apart in the news the next day, even after shows that were too full. When there were cheers at night and insults in the morning, it left scars that were hard to heal. It hurt more than just their feelings, though. It also got rough. Donny was going into a hotel in Manchester one night when a fan rushed him. She charged at him with a pen and a signing book. She didn't mean to hurt you, to spend a moment with her idol. The pen went right into his eye when she hugged him, though. At that very moment, a camera flash went off. The light burned into his eye, which was already hurt, and made a mark on his retina that will never go away. He almost went blind. Donny thinks about it now and then. The scar is still there today, a warning of how quickly fame can change from love to danger. But he didn't blame the girl. Instead, he felt sorry for her. He told her she didn't know. She was just too stressed out. At the same time, Marie's trip was also full of problems. She became famous on the hit show Donny and Marie when she was only 15. But there was something much darker going on behind the bright lights and happy performers. People who ran the company were not only strict, but also mean. Though Marie was already very thin, 103 pounds, they told her she was too fat. She was taken to a parking lot one day and given a harsh choice: lose 10 pounds or the show will end. That wasn't the end. They told her that her family would be embarrassed if they saw her putting food in her fat face. It was more than just criticism. It was torture for the mind. Marie began to go without food because she really wanted to keep her job. She wouldn't eat for 3 days before a movie shoot sometimes. Sometimes all she did to stay under 93 pounds was drink lemon water mixed with cayenne pepper and maple syrup. It wasn't safe or good for her, but she felt stuck. She had to deal with that stress for many years. She died many times and then gained the weight back. She tried every diet she could find. She didn't figure out what had happened to her for many years. It wasn't just stress, it was abuse that left deep wounds. But that wasn't the only bad thing that happened to her. Marie hid another terrible secret for a long time, before the cameras and the fame. She was raped by people her parents trusted when she was only 8 or 9 years old. Because the abuse was so bad, it changed the way she thought about men forever. They made her sick. She didn't believe them. She had no idea how to act around them. Being confused made her question everything, even who she was. She began to think that she might be gay, not because she wanted to be, but because the abuse had made it hard for her to understand how she felt. Marie first wrote about this in her autobiography, and then she talked about it in the talk. Even though her voice was shaking, she was ready to tell the truth, feeling better. It took a long time. Even though her family wasn't the ones who hurt her, her brothers and father helped her learn to trust again. They showed her that not all men were mean or scary. She began to rebuild slowly. She tried to find love even though she was in a lot of pain. As a young star, she went out with Andy Gibb. I'm the Bee Gees' youngest brother. He was attractive and smart. He became hooked on drugs. Marie couldn't do anything about his health getting worse, and she had to leave in the end. It hurt her a lot. Later, she revealed that she was dating Chip star Eric Estrada, but she never talked much about that part of her life. It wasn't easy to get married either.